today to promote this initiative, which was dreamt up a week last Saturday at about 1 o'clock in the morning. That you come to your Raspberry Jams or your Coda clubs, and there's a lot of biffing and battling, getting everything going, ready for the session. And what I wanted to do was come up with something to reuse an old laptop that could be just with a DVD in it or a USB drive that could just power up and would have everything necessary for exactly this sort of event. So, I mean, we had to find something that had a Twitter handle that wasn't using SBIOS, you know. So that's why it says small board interface operating system. It's one of those ones when you try and get a name for something, you've actually got to see what's taken up. And we got SBIOS.org, nobody had it, a 5-letter, that's quite good to find that. So a small board interface operating system. But the whole idea is you power up your desktop and you will then straight on be able to do it. So primary goal, plug in any small board computer, such as an Arduino, a codebook, a codebook Crumble, the Raspberry Pi itself, and start programming in Python and Scratch without having to do anything else. Now I demonstrated over there earlier to some of you and you saw it working, thank goodness. So the other game is just, other goal is to use older hardware. So hopefully, as we say at the bottom, the intention would be to find and procure old laptops and reuse them in schools, coding clubs and Raspberry Jams. So we're very lucky here to have all these monitors, but not so lucky in other places. So the idea is that what we've got at the moment, we have one version of it. We don't maybe have many versions, but the version that's managed to get up here is from a guy, Ryan Walmsley, who's called Ryan Tech on Twitter. A lot of you might know him. And he's come up with this thing. We can download it for DVD, not CD, or USB. It's got the install instructions, which is very easy. You just download the files, extract them to a USB stick and run one file, and then just plug it in to the laptop, which I showed over there, and 5 minutes later, you're up and running. So we've got some specifications, and we're ticking these off. So it will run on older hardware. It's got Scratch, it's got Python, hasn't got Python 3 yet. It'll work with an Arduino out of the box. Hasn't done the Crumble because Ryan doesn't have a Crumble, so I've got to do that bit. Don't know if it does the USB tethering yet. It certainly will work normal codebook. We want it so that you can plug a Raspberry Pi directly into your laptop and then remotely control your laptop, which I've proved works over here today. So that bit's working. That gobbledygook there is the thing that lets you to view and control the Raspberry Pi. We want it as a bootable DVD and as a bootable USB, because some older laptops will not boot off a USB. We want it to be easy to use as possible, and then we've got other optional things to have in there. Now it says optional is supporting Wi-Fi networking, because this laptop it's not needed to do a session. You don't need Wi-Fi if everything's there and already reinstalled. So that's what we're trying to do. So I've demonstrated it over there. If you say, this is built, I'm going to try and be provocative here, this is built on Slacks. Now those of you who go, Slacks, that's a terrible Linux operating system. You really should be using Ubuntu. Please make a version out of Ubuntu for us and let us have a copy, and then we can try it out. So different versions that might run differently on different hardware. One person's working on something that will work on a really old machine and run entirely in RAM to make it very fast. And Martin's come up with an idea to do that. With this, having to keep your files on there, but half in RAM, half on the thing. So when you run things in RAM, remember, you know, if you can make it small, then you can use the RAM as a working disk. So that's what we're after. We've got SBIOS.org. Follow us on Twitter. Blah 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 blah. Thank you very much for listening. Any questions?
Yeah, Twitter handle's different than SBIOS?
We don't have a Twitter handle because SBIOS is somebody.
Is it SBIOS?
But we use the hashtag SBIOS. Yeah. Right, that's not used for many things. So if you do a search on #SBIOS, you'll see all the stuff that's going on. It's the geeky stuff at the moment, but if anybody comes up with a usability idea, then we're very much interested in what, we could do with this when we come to a jam, or this when we go to our coding club.
The other thing is, are you trying to get as many different versions of this as possible?
I don't mind if there's 1 or 10. I'm
specifically for usability. So if it's supposed to be an easy thing to use.
Yes.
and you have to work out which...
No, the spec will be,
version.
the spec will be icons on the desktop that you double click.
Yes.
Sorry, yes, but all of the, yes?
But what about trying to work out which one works on the hardware?
Should we save this fancy for a little later?
Oh, I'm just trying to...
Okay. Yeah, no, we're thinking you'd have the top end model, yes, that definitely works on machines up to 3 years old, and here's one that might have some restrictions, but won't have Wi-Fi, for instance, but would work on older machines. Those are the sort of things, issues I'm thinking between the distributions.
But you're only really thinking of like 2 or 3 versions eventually.
I think so, yeah. But I'm not trying to get one to do everything. I'm quite happy to have 3 that will all do the same thing, like having mini, micro, mini, and full. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.